Alien Covenant, Prometheus, Alien Resurrection. What do they all have in common? This show right here, Alien Earth. And before we jump into it, please hit that like and subscribe button and support the show. And thank you for tuning in. But let's jump right into it. Like I said, Alien Earth. One of my viewers said this. He compared this show to Raised by Wolves on a scale level, but he basically said this gave Prometheus vibes. And I agree, especially after episode 3, Metamorphosis. Prometheus, Alien Covenant, and Alien Resurrection. So I bring those up because this show is basically giving me all of that right now. If you don't know what the timeline is of the show, this show falls directly after Alien Covenant, but before the first Alien film. So, in my opinion, I think that this show is a direct sequel of the Prometheus Alien Covenant films and a prequel to the Alien film. So they're meeting somewhere in between. And I say that because in my opinion, I think we now have a sidekick or another sidekick tied to the Xenomorphs. So if you didn't see the episode, this one was full of dread, I would say, not horror, but Wendy, and I'm going to jump a little bit all over the episode here because some parts weren't very important, and I'll talk about the parts that I feel are important, but for the most part, not every part of this episode was important. It just basically kind of, in my opinion, led to the ending of this episode where Wendy starts displaying this psychic connection to the Xenomorphs when, what was it, Skirsh, or whatnot, when he starts basically dissecting the alien and she's grabbing her head and she's having all these, and she eventually faints or whatnot. But if you don't remember Alien Resurrection, the Ripley clone, Ripley 8, had direct psychic links to the Xenomorphs. Well, mainly the Xenomorph queen, the alien queen, which back we used to think that they needed a queen in order to have eggs or whatever, but they've kind of changed up that sense, and now Xenomorphs can lay eggs, I assume, because they get real protective around their eggs, as we saw in episode 3 and 2. But she starts displaying this telepathic stuff with the Xenomorph as they're being, like I said, dissected. I'm not a biology major, so don't kill me. But they're basically been experimented on, and they're trying to see what the Xenomorphs are. They take a little tadpole looking thing and put it in thing, and it eventually goes into Joe's lung. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But also in this episode, Boy Cavalere just displays a creepier version of Peter Pan, but he has this creepy leadership style that he's clearly manipulating everybody except maybe Skirsh. It honestly starting to seem like maybe they're playing each other because I'm gonna keep calling him Skirsh, but what is his name? Let me see if I have it here. I'm sorry, I don't have it. But Timothy Olyphant's character, he is clearly manipulating. He's manipulating Boy Cavalere. Boy Cavalere's manipulating everybody, including his children. The synths that he put kids in, and in this episode, let me see, Wendy gets attacked by the Xenomorph at the beginning of the episode after she's trying to find her brother at the end. From the end of episode 2, I guess let me give a small overview. So the episode starts with Wendy looking for her brother. She's zooming down the hallway. She eventually finds him, and he's yelling out, "It's a trap! It's a trap!" And it is a trap. So she finds him, pulls him off the wall where he's glued with some alien spit, and eventually the Xenomorph creeps up because it is a trap. And he peeps his little creepy head through the curtain, and he sticks his little mouth out and does all the little tongue action shit. And he backs off. He crawls on top, does all that stuff like that. He's basically stalking them. So eventually he pulls Joe out, attacks him. Wendy saves Joe. She slams the Xenomorph into some trapdoor elevator thing, but she gets pulled inside as well. And Joe closed the door. They're both messed up pretty good. She kills the Xenomorph, chops his head off, or whatever the case may be. Boom, boom, boom. So this is how they end up back at the facility where all the experiments and stuff are happening like that. Boy Cavalere and his, and all his creepiness is, standing there over the glass, just tucked down, just looking at everybody walking through in a segment that probably wasn't needed, but I guess it kind of slowly gave I think it was done to give a visual look at maybe what everybody's mental status may be right now, even though most of these people are synthetics, aka robots, but they used to be kids, so I guess they have thoughts, but I don't know, it's weird. I don't know if they have feelings or not. They're close to human, but they're not human, but they're 13. I don't know. They're gonna have to explain the synthetics a little bit more to me, but the human synthetics specifically, because the cyborg I kind of understand. Morrow, he seems very calculated, and I'm not sure if he isn't from. Well, I know he's with Yutani, but I'm not absolutely sure if he's not a human synthetic as well, but maybe an adult version, because he seems to pick up on things quickly, like he picked up on two of the Lost Boys when they were slap fighting with each other. He picked up very quickly that they were kids or whatnot, and he starts manipulating one of them. Starts with an S. Can't remember right now. But anyways, meanwhile, as we see everybody walking through, he noticed that Nibs is clearly out of it, and Nibs is the red-haired girl that start having flashbacks to her regular body or whatnot. Whatever that spider alien did to her, it really messed her up psychologically. And it's crazy saying that about a synthetic, aka a robot or a cyborg or some type of. It's not a human. It's weird and kind of fun watching her have a psychotic break, because she's clearly having a psychotic break, and I would not be surprised if I'm not sure who the bad guy is in this show. It could be Boy Cavalere. They're starting to show Nibs, like she's going to do something crazy. You got Morrow, who seems like he's going between villain and anti-hero. Then you got the corporations, and then you have uh Skirsh, I'm pretty sure his name is, who is, I don't think he's a bad guy. I just don't think he has a lot of respect for Boy Cavalere, and I think he just kind of wants to take the company over. That's what I think their little thing is. Boy Cavalere is just a nutcase genius kid, so not much to really say about him. Like I said, he manipulates chaos, especially with the Lost Boys. He Wendy is clearly his favorite, but he says it's because she's the first. It seems like some of the Lost Boys may start getting. I don't think they're purposely being played against each other, but they're kids at the end of the day, so everybody wants to be daddy's favorite. This episode was basically full of paranoia. Like I said, um, one thing I wanted to touch on, like I said, was the Prometheus and Resurrection vibes that I got. Um, since I'm done with the overview, because that was basically the overview of the episode, and I'm going to touch on Wendy's what do you want to call it? I'm going to touch on Wendy's new, or maybe not new, psychic abilities, which happen at the end, or maybe yeah. So like I said, Wendy's giving us this psychic kid thing, um, but not like Firestarter. She's more like Ripley 8 from Alien Resurrection, in my opinion, because if you saw Alien Resurrection all the way back in the early 2000s, then you'll recognize I immediately recognized it. And I was like, damn, that's from Alien Resurrection, when she started having this connection to the Xenomorphs. And no, that's not the only time anybody's had a connection to the Xenomorph, especially in recent history. But that was the first time that they showed that somebody could have a connection to the Xenomorph. And Ripley in that movie was a clone, so she was technically something like a synthetic, because clearly clone isn't necessarily human. So I'm wondering, I want to know more about Wendy's origin, like her actual origin, not the, oh, we have a dad, I have a brother, um, I'm sick, and now I have a synthetic body. I want to know more about where she comes from and where maybe her family lineage is, and because I'm almost willing to bet, not yet, but almost willing to bet that this is somehow going to tie back into either Prometheus or Alien Covenant in some type of way. I'm almost willing to bet that. And with her being the prototype synthetic, it makes me wonder, because Boy Cavalere is this boy genius that clearly runs a huge biology tech operation, because they have this lab just sitting there waiting for something to come into it mysteriously. And it's just like, where or why or what was the need for all of this specific tech if it didn't come from somewhere? So maybe Wendy is some type of blood, maybe human Wendy before she was became synthetic, has some tie to the founders. I don't know. What do you think? Tell me what you guys think. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm still enjoying the show. Um, Maybe not as enthusiastic as last week, but still enjoying it. I'm enjoying the new twists and turns, but I'm just confused about Wendy, and even more so about Joe, because he seems concerned about her. He seems concerned about her, but then he kind of gives off like maybe he may sense something or whatever. That I'm tired of him calling her Marcy. Like, can we just stick to one name? Just like I'm calling him Joe, as some people call him Hermit. So I don't know. Everybody has different names. Actually, and they clearly do. Everybody literally has a different name in this show. So, touch on Nibs real quick. The girl with the red hair. She is going to start an outbreak, or she's going to start a. She's going to do something crazy. Clearly, the spider alien did something to her when it wrapped around her hands and all that stuff like that. I don't know what it did to her, because she was touching on her eyeball and stuff like that, I guess, to make sure that it was not the spider alien. And it clearly affected her, but she's going to let those aliens out. I bet she's the one, because they're clearly going to get out into the facility. It just wouldn't be an alien anything if the aliens didn't get out. They're not going to stay contained. It sucks that they killed the Xenomorph off so early, but they're clearly going to give us another one. Uh, they, they put the little tadpole Xeno thing into Joe's punctured lung, so it's going to hatch in there. It's clearly going to, and that was all curse idea as well, to put that in there, because he scared Boy Cavalere off when he told him that the Xenos attached to real humans. So Boy Cavalere was like, "Oh no, you take over this, and nobody's allowed down here except synthetic bodies." So he played him, because he gave him a little smirk after he did that. I'm enjoying the show. Like I said, the world building is really good. The effects are great. They obviously, like I said, they put a lot of money into this show. Clearly, they're bringing us a really beautifully shot set like show. It is everything that you could want visually. I know some of us may have differences on how we like the show. I think this show is basically going to tear us apart as Alien fans. We're either going to be story driven fans who are going to enjoy the story, the slow burn, which I didn't think it was going to be that much of a slow burn, but the slow burn effect of it, and that, or they're going to be, and I guess I kind of sit on the side of this too, the original Alien fans who sci-fi survival horror, give us that. I want that too, but I'm enjoying the world building and story. Maybe I'm getting old, don't know, but we'll see. But tell me what you guys think about this. I'm not sure what episode 4 is going to be. I haven't seen a trailer or anything for it yet. But so far through 3 episodes, we've gotten Psychic. Pretty sure she's Psychic. We got Psychic Wendy. Well, Psychic tied to Xenomorph Wendy. We got Joe, who is, I don't know, he's pretty helpless. Like, I'm not sure what his purpose is. Maybe it'll come into fruition later what his purpose is to the show. Right now, Joe doesn't really have a real purpose to me. He's just kind of there as a supporting character. It's Wendy's brother. It's her only connection to her real self when she was real. I don't know. Joe's this Joe. Synthetic kids, the other ones, the Lost Boys, they're clearly going to get fleshed out more. Nibs is gonna go crazy. Seems like what is it? Slick. I can't think of what it is. I'm sorry, I don't remember all the Lost Boys' names from Peter Pan. But the kid that Morrow somehow knew to hack into the synthetic network and he can just talk to him, but he's only talking to this one. I don't know how he did it. And he just hacked into a dude's head and started talking to him. And then he wants to be his friend because, he's a kid. So it's easy to manipulate kids because they all want to be friends. So I'm not sure where he's going to go with that. I mean, clearly he's just trying to find a way to get inside the facility or whatnot. So there's no mystery there since he's made this getting everything back his life's work. That's what he told the daughter of Yutani. And it's just like, even that's weird to me because you're a robot, cyborg, whatever the case may be. And wouldn't your life's work be whatever the program is? Which makes me think maybe I don't know. What are cyborgs? Are cyborgs part human? I know Cyborg and the Batman stuff is like part human, part robot. So is that what he actually is? Is he part human, part robot? Is he? Maybe that's what he is. I mean, I do keep calling him a cyborg. I don't know. Maybe I just had a revelation, so I apologize. But clearly Morrow I'm not sure what Morrow is, but Morrow is an interesting character because he went from clearly being the villain to me in episodes 1 and 2 to now almost seeming like not anti-hero. Hasn't gotten there yet, but where he's wanted to or has trapped or killed everybody else, he has some compassion. Well, he does explain that he has a daughter, so maybe that's why he has compassion for the kids, since he recognizes and knows that they are kids trapped inside the synthetic body. So maybe that's what it is. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing episode 4. Going to be dropping some other reviews here in the near future. But let me know what you guys think of Wendy's ever developing origin story. What do you guys think about it? Do you think it's one of the better origin stories in the alien history? There'll never be a better origin story or a Alien 1 will always be the best. So if you think differently, let me know. But there's never going to be anything in the Alien franchise that tops that. Not everything could be Terminator 2 that's better than the first movie. So, because even the Terminator shows suck, if you've ever seen those. Where are we going to wrap up with? I guess we could wrap up with, we had a low death toll this week. I mean, I am keeping count of that. Pretty low this week in comparison to the first 2 episodes where even off screen, I'm pretty sure the Xenomorph probably killed 40 people. But slower death toll in this one, but more world building, fleshing everything out, trying to give us a deeper insight into where we're going that I can appreciate. But tell me what you guys like about the show. Tell me what you guys don't like about the show. Give me your honest opinions and tell me where you are. If you're old like me, I don't know. Maybe because I'm trying to be optimistic, one, and giving an honest review, I'm trying to stay in the middle. So, but my personal leans more towards I want a little bit more survival sci-fi horror. So if you feel that way, let me know down in the comments. Thank you for coming by. Keep coming back. Please like, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.